Hello everybody, and welcome once again to another edition of Inside the Headset. I'm here with head coach Thomas McDaniel of the Oakland Patriots. Coach, Friday night you was in a jamboree for 2 quarters against Riverdale. After that, you got the results of your video and you started the process to start communicating with the Arlington Tigers and Chris Wiley. But give us just a quick rundown of just, I know it's a jamboree, I know it's you're not going to do the same thing. We talked with Coach A lot yesterday. He talked about how vanilla and everything. Let's hear your take on it.
We did, we kept it pretty vanilla, but I don't think we didn't put too much thought into don't show this or that. Obviously there's a lot of things that we knew going in we weren't going to run. Our game plan was much condensed comparative to a normal game plan, but we didn't say, okay, we're going to run these 3 plays and that's it. We wanted to throw the ball a couple times and make sure that we were able to protect. We did a decent job of protection, but not great. Part of that being the fact that Riverdale's a 3-4 defense, and we didn't work on a 3-4 before we went to the jamboree. So that was an issue. But for the most part, yes, it was pretty vanilla offensively and defensively. We just kind of lined up and played, and I know Riverdale did the same thing. It was good to get everybody out there on the field under the lights, kind of get the headsets out, so to speak, and get people in position, coaching staff-wise and player-wise, substitute personnel. So all in all, good experience, a good way to kind of get the year kicked off, and I thought we had a good crowd, turnout. It was a good night for our county, and I just think it'll continue to get bigger.
You talked in the show on Saturday about playing, numerous kids for the first time on Friday night, and talked a while ago about getting them into position. I talked to Ron yesterday a little bit about that, but, talk about that and just, like you said, the first Friday night, just trying to tell a kid, be relaxed, and he's all, wired up, ready to roll, but talk a little bit about it.
Well, we've just got a lot of youth on our team right now. I think probably when it's all said and done, that we'll probably have 6 seniors that get significant playing time. A lot of juniors and plenty of sophomores will see action for us. So, we've got to learn how to handle them before the game, handle them during the game. We've met all off season, all summer. One of the things we met over the summer about was, honestly, was not only them learning how to handle the game better, but me learning how to handle the game better. I'm emotional. I get fired up. I get excited. I'm loud. And some of these young kids, they don't need that right now. They need someone, holding their hand, so to speak, patting them on the back and telling them they love them. They don't need somebody breathing down their neck. So, it was a dry run for me about not getting too wound up. You say, well, it's a jamboree, don't get wound up, but I get wound up for scrimmages. I get wound up for practice. So, it was good for me to get out there and try not to blow a gasket, I guess, and learn to try to handle my sideline management a little better. And we had some young guys that we're going to be counting on that got significant reps and kind of, I thought needed to get under the lights and maybe see how they were going to handle playing in that type of atmosphere. Yeah, it's a jamboree, but to them, there were still a bunch of people in the stands. They're playing under the lights on a Friday night for the first time, and we had several sophomores that didn't play up to their potential simply because of the nerves and the adjustment. So that alone was good to get that out of the way.
Right.
And then some of the sophomores that, specifically Tyler Black and George Beasy, 2 receiver DB kids that we have that are sophomores, are going to be in the rotation on both sides of the ball, and they both made good plays. George converted a first 3rd down, and then Tyler Black had the only score in the game on a bubble screen. So, good things that we got to see out of those guys, and then just even some of our older guys that the amount of improvement they've had in the weight room, another year in the off season, another summer on the field. Kids like Austin Barrett, who really was just a marginal player last year, and who we think has a chance to dominate. They couldn't block him up front the other night, and he has a chance, we think, to be a special player. So we saw the progression that he's making to the field, and you need to see that under the lights because the scrimmage is what it is. The scrimmage, a lot of kids don't get worked up for a scrimmage, but the first time you put the jersey on for the real deal, they get worked up, and we handled it pretty well, so I'm pleased.
Well, and you talk about that, I guess you're just trying to stress to them, if you're a sophomore, we're looking for you to become a junior pretty quick.
Right.
If you're a junior, you're looking for them to become a senior pretty quick. It's not real hard. It's just you only have a short period of time to get all this done, and they don't understand that it's all going to start running together real quick. But let's move on. Chris Wiley, you're going to travel 3.5 hours, almost 3 hours, 40 minutes by the time you go through town, go to Arlington. Thank goodness Arlington's on this side,
It is.
you won't have to go through any of this. It'll just be basically turn right off of 40, go to Arlington High School. Chris Wiley will be waiting on you and talk about the Tigers. And I heard you earlier, and wow, I mean, let's let the fans know it's not going to be easy for the Patriots.
No, Coach Wiley's done a great job at Arlington. He's been there since the school opened. You know, he helped pick the school colors, pick the mascot. He's been, since its inception, an integral part, and he's built it from the ground up and done a great job. They've had several successful seasons in a row. Going into last year, they'd had several 8-2, 9-1 seasons, and they just couldn't seem to get a playoff win. Last year, I think they obviously won their first playoff game in school history, and I think they were 9-3, had a great year. They came to us last year and shocked us early, scored on the first drive, and then we kind of clamped down on them some and kind of imposed our will in the run game. But they're very well coached. Offensively, they're very explosive. Their quarterback is a phenomenal player. He's preseason All-State in 6A. I think that's well deserved. I think he is probably one of the we got obviously several good quarterbacks in our league, but this kid is as good as any quarterback that will play all year, I think. Different type of style than what you'll see at Riverdale or Siegel, but he's very efficient, very crafty. Doesn't get you don't tackle him very often. He doesn't get sacked. Elusive and got kind of deceptive speed. 6'3", 6'4", 200-pound kid. So he's got all the components to be a college-type quarterback. And with what they do offensively, the Tony Franklin system, it's no huddle, very fast-paced, up-tempo, and they want to get as many snaps as they can in a hurry. So pretty contrasting styles, so to speak, from us.
You guys got to be on your toes.
That's right, yeah, and that's not what we see at practice every day, and so we're trying to slow the game down. They want to speed the game up. So it'll be an interesting challenge. I've known Chris for a long time. He and I grew up together in Bartlett, and that was kind of how this whole thing worked out. He couldn't find a game, and I couldn't find one, and we just made it work. But
trade knuckles one way or another.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so but it'll be fun. I mean, I'm excited to go back home and get to play, get to be on the field in front of a lot of my friends and family. But ultimately, it's a business trip for us. We got a lot of young kids that have to play, and they got to grow up fast, and they better do it before 4 quarters are over. So I think we've had a good week of practice. I think we're prepared, but you never know until you get out there and it's live bullets. And like I said, with their offense, that causes us a little extra stress just based on the tempo that they operate at. When the quarterback, with his experience, he's not going to be very rusty. So that part will be interesting. We got to hang on early, hopefully hold on to the ball and get some of the jitters out before we put him on the field. So it'll be important that we control the clock and manage the game appropriately.
Special teams, what can we look for? What's the Tigers going to do?
Special teams wise, they got a good kicker. I think with the receivers they have, they're going to obviously have weapons in the return game. That was one thing that Friday night I was very pleased with, was our special teams at the Jamboree. I took a little flack from some people that were friends of mine, or maybe not friends of mine, that questioned us questioned us blocking the punt. But honestly, that was between Coach Adelite and I. We decided before the game that we were going to both rush the punt so we could see protections. And it just so happened that we squeezed through there and blocked there. So that was good to see that somebody got free and put their hands on it, because sometimes you'll get kids run scot-free and not touch the ball. So we blocked a punt. Our punter, Alex Van Sinis, had 2 great punts the other night. I think both of them were 40-plus yards. And we have a new kicker, that's a sophomore, Hayes Foster, that kicked one in the end zone, which we never usually do. So
looking better.
Kicking game, I'm very excited to see if we can put that on the field when the lights are on. But I feel good about our returners. I feel good about our kickers. We just got to do it during live action. So I'm excited to see where we are in the kicking game.
12 to 15% of the ball game.
That's right.
And people don't realize it. You just got to have a good special team.
It's been a huge disadvantage for us, with the exception of the return game.
Yeah.
We've seemed to have pretty good, significant chunks of yardage in punt return, kickoff return area, but we've not been able to put people deep. Especially put it on the 20. We've not kicked it in the end zone very much. Alex has had his moments where he's kicked great punts, but he's had some misses as well. So hopefully it was his maturity and then the competition at kicker that we'll have a much improved kicking game, and I think we will, and it should be a great benefit for us.
Other than that, anything else you'd like to add other than Patriot fans gas up your car and drive 3 hours to go watch the Patriots on Friday night?
Be patient, you know.
Be patient.
I think I just don't know, honestly, going into this first game. You know, there's going to be a lot of jitters from my standpoint because I just don't know what to expect from our football team. You know, you base it off of scrimmages. We looked great against Beach. We looked terrible against Brentwood. We came back and looked well against the NBA, but we've had our moments of ups and downs, and we're just going to be, you know, we're going to have a lot of experience at first. I think we're prepared. I feel good about our game plan, but you know, it's not going to be as crisp as we want, and it's not going to be the product on the field that maybe they want to see. And you know, we got a lot of great fans, but a lot of them have a lot of opinions as well. So you know, you got to give us a little time. I think if we go ready to play, I think we'll come back with a W, and I really feel like our schedule sets up long term for us to continue to get better through the season, and our tougher games, I think, end up later on in the year. So just give us a few weeks to knock the rust off, and we'll continue to work hard to get better.
Well, great, and we look forward to getting out and watching the Patriots and everything. But you know, it's funny you just mentioned that, and I'll close with this. It's funny how there's some things you want kids to go after, and there's some things you want to tell them, let it come to you.
Right.
And it's hard to adjust that, and they have to kind of understand that.
It is, and it's just there's a huge transition from freshman football to varsity football.
Oh,
and you know,
and especially in this league.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
some of them just don't know that yet, but they'll learn pretty quick. So, hey, I heard you got a new gig.
Yeah, I did. That was thank you. I was talk about Rusty. You know, you want to talk about Rusty? I've done it for 12 years, but I did little kids down at Smyrna, and I did grown men down at Laverne, and I did the Storm for a couple of years. So I'm looking forward to it. But
are you fired up about it?
I am extremely fired up.
Right,
you won't. If you look up there, you'll notice I'm not sitting. I am standing the whole time, and I'll be holding court in the press box.
I won't hear you because I'll be too busy, but I'm sure you'll do a good job.
Well, if not, your fans will let you know it, just like they let you know about your football. Other than that, let's get out of here. Kids, get in your car and go 3 hours over to Arlington, just outside of Memphis, and watch the Patriots and the Tigers. Kickoffs at 7 o'clock. You'll see you there.